I'm taking a fat shit and you're coming with me. You heard me? I had a lot of thoughts today. Isn't that crazy? Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit right here. And if they show up on their pontoon boats and they see my dump truck yacht, it is what it is, man. So look, I had a realization today that most of the world are pussies. They're afraid of everything. They see all the things that they want to do and it's been blocked by fear because they decided to be cowards early on in life. And that developed them into a walking L, a massive walking L, giant pussy. And with me, I'm someone that since a very young age, there were things I didn't want to do. Like, I enjoyed the comfort of my own home to build with my Legos, but it was never that I was afraid to talk to or to run away from school or to venture deep into the woods by myself or to hold my breath as long as I could until I'd almost drown and then swim up just to see how far I could take it. And that my name means brave and honorable. I'm wiping my ass right now while we're speaking. It's right here. Do you want to see it? I'm picking it up because I'm respectful, and I'm going to toss it into the water. It's far enough in the snow that they'll think it's a dog dookie. They're gonna be like, a dog dookie with no footprints. Plus there's a kid here and obviously lives in his car. I'm not afraid, I just don't want them to ask me because I'm in a rich neighborhood. I'd prefer to keep it on their porch. There you go. The thing I wanted to say is that they couldn't make me afraid. So they made me confused and they made me disabled. I used to go to school like I was going to war, and I would plot and sit like a samurai in the bus about what I'm gonna do in school that day, what I'm gonna practice with social skills. I had agendas for everything, but not meticulously planned out, just up on the back burner while I enjoy the present moment and try to have the most fun out of not most fun out of everybody, but most fun for myself. Like, everything I did was just independently fun. You feel me? And I ended up being the kid in class that everybody went to for homework. Like, I'd just turn around and they were all sitting next to me, and I didn't even realize they were asking me the answers to the homework. I would just say it out loud because I'm so busy doing 6 other things in my mind while also hitting on girls and building relationships and plotting my album. I never worried about what anyone had to think of me. It was more like I'm eliciting a negative response by my presence. What can I change about that so I stay in this highest frequency of vibration? Why don't they see me as a king? And how can I flip that around on them? So that when I walk into school, it's like an explosion of love that attaches to everybody and makes everybody better. How can I change my canthal tilt with just a thought? I'm born under the cat ear. I'm a cat in Vietnamese astrology too, but I'm right on the cusp. I'm in that last quarter before dragon. If you imagine your cat like a dragon, think about it. If your cat was a tiny vessel for an ancient dragon spirit to monitor households and live in the spirit realm where things are a lot cooler than the 3D. Coolest thing about 3D is sex and violence and sports. Everything else is spiritual. So why not give them a little vessel like a cat to sit in your house, to knead on your daughter's breasts? And she's like, "Aw, that thing's over 3,000 years old, you fucking bitch. That thing is a giant monster that we slew thousands of years ago." But whatever. So the 11th passed, and now our emotions are starting to turn shapes. Instead of on the 11 days, everything is rational and logical, and energetic, straightforward. It is what it is, kind of detached. To be able to fully see and envelop the concepts. That's an 11. Now we're at the 12, which is moving. We're starting to build up our emotion again. I know these things. Our emotions are starting to take color and shape again. Whereas the 11, everything is like zooming through everything all at once. So there's no color. It's just gray area to be able to let us see, because gray is black and white, which is 1111. If you add up the letters in the numerology, all the letters of black and white both add up to 11. And orange is 33. Orange is the color that rules Sagittarius from the planet Jupiter. Sagittarius are the amateur philosophers, the free ones that go out to do things, the momentum base. Geminis are like amplifiers. Whatever you put into a Gemini, they explode, they make exponentially larger, and they can control the air and the environment. I guess I can see why that would make them two-faced, because they've got this extra identity that's able to house the environment. Aquarians feel much larger than Geminis. Aquarians are like the tether that builds the dome around us that we live inside. They're the bubble of space-time that we operate inside. You feel me? Libras are more of a detached, rational entity. Libras they're not like this giant. I'm not sure what Libras are, to be honest. But it seems more like they're more, not corruptible, not contempt, but fuck you, cunts. They're more condensed, balanced. They're balanced. With like Geminis, I see them as like this giant And with Aquarians, I see them as this giant narrative energy, but Libras are like inside the body, maybe a little bit outside the body, and they just kind of work through the order and balance of everything. Like they're like the truth embodiment. I'm missing something with them. But it's like Libras are like a room in a house, whereas Aquarians are like, Geminis are like the house, or the temperature of the room. That's what I'd say. Geminis operate the temperature of the house. Libras are like a room in a house, and Aquarians are the property and the property value, and all the different perspectives and views of the property. They're outside the property, controlling and operating the property. But I would also say Cancer does the same thing. Just there's different elements. So they all have the similar jobs but different elements. Like Cancer's Pisces and Scorpio. Cancers are like gas stations, where you go into the gas station and you operate inside the gas. She's all the stuff that you're moving, all the movements you make. It's like a whirlpool of energy, but it's intrinsically focused, I guess, introverted inside the different mechanisms operating inside of it. And Leos are like a tree or a fire tree, that they're the gas station as well, but it's more like, with Cancers, you go in to throw things into the Cancer and get supercharged and leave. With Leos, you go to throw your negativity and it burns alive, and then the Leos cackle and go, ah, and they fill your heart up with love, and then you leave. It's fire. And I'm noticing that all I do is travel. I'm a Sagittarius. My life is just in my car, sitting on my throne like this, driving around, feeling all the different things hit me, learning how to hit them back. If it wasn't for me being pulled over by police every time I reached a stage of enlightenment, and then them cackling and screaming at me and bullying me, I would be probably the best jouster in New England. Or like people are driving down the street at me angry, and I'm driving down the street angry at them, and whoever submits loses. I would be wrecking through them. And I did for a long time. Like 2022, I was inside my body creating the universe that I lived inside in 2023 and 4. I guess 2020. I'm having dreams that different characters of my story are being possessed by the emotional energy I create. And then they go on to live an amazing story, and they feel proud that they're like they're competing against me, but they are me. You feel me? It's like if you love me and you want the best for me, and I see that you want the best for me, and I see that you're emotionally invested in me, and I'm like, I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I'm not going to give you anything. Go fuck yourself. But you still care about me, right? And then I leave and go somewhere that you'll never be able to go. That's what my life is. And the way that I've learned to the way that God has allowed me to combat that is because I'm capable of what other people aren't. I'm capable of improbable feats. So it's like, you make this walled fortress in your social clique that I'm not allowed to go to, I'll just walk through you, get the hottest girl's number, the prettiest girl, like, loving me, happy. And then I'll, like, pick her up and carry her out to the cool kids table, but the cool kids would call them the weirdos. And then I set up my kingdom above them, and they have to watch as it slowly gets siphoned away and brought to me until I'm the center of attention and my whole kingdom is the most poppin' place. And they all want to see me. I become them, and then I shift them into Casey, and then Casey becomes out gigantic, basically. And I only exclude them because I know they're coming back to take the power they used to shit on me back to abuse others again. So that's why they get left out. And that's why I need a diverse team. But the problem is I'm supposed to teach them or I was supposed to teach them, or I still am capable of teaching them these certain things that are affecting them. But the problem is there's like this cross judgment, where these people are so lost and they don't understand. But I see that nugget of capability inside them that can do this task that I need to happen in order for this mission to come through. From the other realm, the Aquarius, I can run it through, and I can create these amazing metropolis, oversized giant castle, this fireball, this golden light. I can make this everything, but it needs certain tasks to happen. And I recruit people, like God puts the perfect people in my life. And then there's something that happens in a connection, in a relationship, that I don't understand, and it usually just ends up being they take all my power away from me, or they try to steal all my power from me. They start talking and acting like me. And I end up feeling depressed, empty, and hopeless, and then they pity help me. So it's hard. I rarely find people that don't have that sense of download pride and use it against people. I am a walking rebellion. I'm a driving rebellion. It's like the world compresses me so hard. I fight so much on that frequency of beating against it, as I'm beating against this impressive wave. All the spice that come out of my head, my fiery crown, whatever amalgamate I develop and I evolve into consciously to be able to fight back creatively. I emanate from myself as I'm driving down the street. And then other people, is like I literally turn my body into armor, and then I'm able to take that armor off. And usually they think that they're sucking it out of me, but I'm just like, if you really need it that bad, take it. I'll make more. And then I'll get the occasional giant demonic monster that tries to rip everything out of me. And it's just like an AI attack where it's finding any crevice and crease it can, and I'm just sitting here being molested by some supernatural force. And it's just it used to do a whole bunch of shit, man. It used to be like psychological torture every single day. terrible, terrible. Like, I felt like I was being molested every day. Like, there's no way to put it. If you know, you know. You feel me? And then when I beat that, they would do it in real life. Tried to molest me. And then I win, and then I get a cool trinket that will be very useful in the future. Like this, but it's got broken batteries. But yeah, I can tell an old woman from the past, she's gonna behave like a cunt. As soon as I step into the store, and I don't, instead of like really thinking about and developing a way to eventually, imagine if this was a live stream, I think a lot of people would listen. I think a lot of you would listen, and then we could go back and forth and actually talk about, you know, like the thousands of people that I'm pretending are watching my videos. Because eventually they will, when I'm a hero. If I'm not, so here's a pastor, a cancer, that kidnapped me and tried to convince me I was gay, and then tried to hit on me and sleep with me. A 60-year-old man just came down and said, you're not gonna be a hero. I could be a hero today. I could be a hero tonight. But what I'm learning is, if I use my ability to insanely outperform everybody on every level, I would be taking away their challenging victory. But maybe that's what I'm meant to do, and maybe I fucked up and failed. Yeah, see, it's the same. This time it was a young girl that said, yeah, you did fail, but it's okay. But it's a TikTok bot. They all, like, some women talk exactly the same. And I'm assuming it's a culture developed from TikTok. Or their NPCs. The reason I can tell the difference between my spirit guides and spam from some entity is because spirit guides provide solutions. And they have distinct voices that you can't find by walking down the street. But I want to tell you guys, if you made it this far, I hope I'm providing some form of value. You're not alone, but parasites are real. Even if it's just like a worm in your brain, it's designed to eat. So when thought goes in, don't eat, it goes, when the coding is, when think to eat, don't. Or no, when think not to eat, eat more. Like, parasites designed to self-sabotage you because it feeds them and lets them grow until they've really infested your mind and you have no idea. Because our bodies are made to be symbiotic with a bunch of different entities. It's probably a very simple and very complicated process to house our consciousness in this amalgamate of different organs, like an organism. There are different organisms inside of us. It's not hard for them to rain a bunch of eggs from the sky, and then it gets into our skin, and then that goes into our bloodstream, and then it gets past our blood-brain barrier because 5G is designed to melt our eyes so we can't focus, and also open the blood-brain barrier. So in terms of like a dimensional shift in consciousness, opening the blood-brain barrier completely would allow the people that aren't taking care of themselves to get exponentially worse, and the people that are taking care of themselves to get access to an immense, grandiose, gigantic, new, evolved form of thought because of this constant state of bliss that we're able to achieve with the new 5G radiation and the solar rays. You feel me? This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is just my knowledge. Do you understand? Everyone's like, oh, you're tapped in. I'm not tapped in. I'm him. You feel me? You turn the camera on and record like this and see what shit comes out of your mouth. Because I guarantee you that a lot of you aren't speaking from your soul. And I could be so much more, but you have no idea what I've been through. If you get here and this video gets 5 likes, I will drop like a 10 to 20 minute video on as much shit that I've been through. Like all the different tactics they've used against me. Everything that I've been through that's led me to here. And also I'm talking because my part hasn't got here yet. So and I don't have any money. And in the simulation that we're living in, my FBI agent that's watching this, I'm pretty sure they are picking and choosing the DoorDash orders I get. Because last night, I was supposed to go down Marshall Ave, which is my mom's last name, which is right in the middle of town, but I was this close to being out of gas. I had like 10 left on my reserve. 10 miles. And all of a sudden my map switches halfway and I'm supposed to go 5 miles up Mountain View Road to a trailer. Like the small little home, red home on Mountain View Road, which is just like this one back road above Williston, where I could see all the Burlington. So I go up there and I'm trying to find the address and then I can't, and then I realize that how did I forget it was on Marshall Ave and I went up Mountain View Road? 2, why would it put me here? And 3, even when I did hit the address, it wouldn't take me to the right place. It kept trying to bring me back to that area. What was supposed to happen at that area? Was it just like a nice view of me to see all of Burlington? Was it supposed to reset me in the network? Because it couldn't be a fault in their system twice that the Keurig Dr. Pepper Center, which they've been trying to get me to work at for months, they've been calling my phone. So I work 12 or 15 hours a day making those K-Cups. I guess I did ask God to put the job that I need to get right in front of my face. And it was a bad black woman that I was delivering to. And her name, Delphine, I don't know if you know a Delphine in your life, but the only other instance of Delphine I've heard in my life is in my favorite video game, Skyrim, where she pretends to be an innkeep, but it turns out that she works for a secret ancient order of knights designed to kill dragons to save the world. "20 likes and I'll chop my hair off live with this hatchet." Alright, so here's my to-do list, chat. Chat! Chat! Should I make a to-do list? Chat, should I make a to-do list? Chat, come on, chat. I'm pretending I'm upset, but I'm not. Chat, should we make a to-do list? Chat, am I even here? Am I real? Chat. Look at this shit. January. Now I can feel like January to-do list. We are at the 12th month, so we have computer cord, bearskin rug, coat, job, something to do with eBay, get experience with eBay selling, eBay reselling. We have Brian V's solar panels. And let's do fasting, intermittent fasting. Try to get meds. Primary care physician meds. Don't go to jail. I've seen so much shit. I've seen women get spiritually or emotionally assaulted by men to like put them in this scenario where it's basically like sexual abuse spiritually, so it can't be like visibly acknowledged, because they're not making laws about emotions until we have Neuralink. Like, I've seen teachers use kids as basically emotional Bitcoin farms, and the kids don't know any better, so they're trying to like appease this god to get some stuff back. And it's fucking disgusting. I'm glad that I'm sitting in my car by myself all day. Being spiritually evolved in the lifestyle I live is just putting a major target on my back. I don't want to date a girl until I can learn how to separate her from the evil, so I don't feel like I'm feeding a disgusting monster. Because I've dated like 4 or 5 girls now where it just seems like I'm not fucking her, I'm just pouring life into a pit of shitty people, shitty lost souls. But one relationship that had strong characters, like a Leo and a Michael from an ancient Scottish house. Didn't feel like they were draining me. It felt like they were filling me up. And now I'm seeing sparkles that say, don't talk about it. Open up my heart. Isn't it? Look at directly where I decided to park. No, I took a picture of my face. But look. The sun came up right where I decided to park. Which means which means there's some level of control over my character that knew that I was gonna meet the sun today. And at some point my heart's gonna crack open again. And I'm not gonna know how to spread the energy that's inside of me out. This immense emotional power. Maybe this time around I'll do what I want to do. That's a big problem too, is that they just send people to show up. And I can feel a connection there. But I don't know, it doesn't feel like he has what I have. I don't really want to give it to him, but I know he's there to drain it from me either way. But I also feel like I should connect to him and like build a relationship to him or her. With girls, it's different because you can feel like they already have like a natural shield of protection. Like they're so used to blocking people away that it's kind of their default to not want to talk. But I guess that's all people pleasing. I'm like putting the world over myself to try to work inside the world when I'm obviously not a part of it, any of that at all. But then when I don't comply, it feels like the system tries to eat me. So I've spent years just ignoring the world and focusing solely on what I want. And that got me everything. That got me famous. That got me beautiful women. That got me a group of friends. Everything I want. But then it just crashes away as soon as I let go. And I build entire worlds based off my determination for what I want. My careless running. I'm safe, protected, and blessed. I'm safe, protected, and blessed. I am safe, I am protected, I am blessed. I rip whatever's trying to attack me out. I put it in front of me, and I fold it into a ball, and then I crush it, and then I burn it until it eviscerates, until it disintegrates, until it turns to ash and fades, floating in the wind. The birds are flying left to right, which means I'm not in alignment. Now they're going right to left. The sun's getting brighter. Now I'm starting to see what's attached to me and has been guiding my thoughts. They're like little lizard men, little salamanders. So they're the parasites from Futurama. Look up the Futurama parasite episode. That's the shape that they're taking. The sun is starting to look like the sun is shining through the trees in a perfect way that it's a flashing pentagram. It's a Star of David pentagram, flashing back and forth. I'm realizing that there's some type of substance that's morphed half of my brain into some type of robot that's kept me from the natural view of everything. Now I'm reminded of a video of when Beyonce went on stage with Jay-Z, and she turned and looked at Jay-Z like a robot and then started performing very, very well. But her head wasn't moving, her body was, and her eyes were dead and staring out in the crowd. A voice in my head said, "You asked for this." I did ask to be famous. I said I would go through hell, not to hell. I would go through hell if I could save at least 5 million souls. In the past couple days, I felt like there's just some feeling that even though I didn't get what I wanted, I feel like I passed God's test. Like, if it isn't evident, I'm not in my body. I'm exalted. I've never been in my body. Except when I have sex. Which will never happen. I will never fuck any of you. You fucking gross pig. I find you disgusting. I can't even clean my car. Like, I start to focus and I get happy to focus and I start doing a task and someone shows up from out of the woodworks to try to rip it out of me until I feel completely conscious and empty and lifeless. Like, I'm part of a system that's watching me so closely. As soon as I wake up to a little bit of my power, and it's always the same character. It's someone that pretended to be my friend a week ago. Shows up. And is trying to steal it away from me. Like last time he parked right next to me and started looking at himself in the mirror. And like pretending to check his eyelashes. His eyelashes and his mustache and all this stuff next to me. Because he was trying to rip out my spirit. my consciousness, my connection to the environment. He was trying to become me. Why would God do that to me? Why would God rip myself out of myself so many times? When I drove down the street, the birds fly with my car. Everyone in their car is angry and mad and trying to push past each other. And then I drive down the street and there's cardinals flying with me. There's peregrine falcons flying over me. The seagulls are guiding my car in directions. The world was an amusement park full of rides, and they get money based off of how many of us, chosen ones, if you are a chosen one and you're not just another vessel that completely exists because of the love of somebody else, some other chosen one. You put on a good enough show for them to show you some love, and now you feel a little bit original. I think God put an insane amount of opportunities in front of me, and then whatever opportunity I bid onto and they reeled me in, they got the power from it by how much they hurt me after baiting me. God just told me, you're all made in my image. This is a God dream. This is a God dream. This is everything. If I'm the closest to God, if I'm the closest thing to God, it only makes sense that everything I make grows to hate me. The hoes just don't know me like the birds do. I asked God if he had anything to say, and he said, be fearless and reckless in your endeavors. You are the wrecking ball. And now someone's here. See? Let's see where he parks. He waved. Let's give this guy his moment with God. And I'll go to my next spot. I do have to leave. The hoes just don't. God said, you're supposed to stay. But I ain't staying, man. You know I got places to be. Like just another area in the woods. But he did absolutely drive right next to my car. You know why? Because the Matrix is trying to take over that space that I just blessed. They can't allow me to grow into perfection. With substance. And now the world is saying, you fucked up, you coward. We sent an evil person to hurt you. And you're a coward for leaving. Yeah, it's saying that he put a wall around the space so that I can't channel the energy through that node. But here, the sun's about to hit my face again. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this is my view. This is actually one of the worser, shittier views. This ain't the best view, you heard me? They want me to go back and confront the devil. I know that's what they want. Now they're just conjuring NPCs. They're conjuring lonely men that want an emotional connection to come not with me, against me, because I'm trying to go with momentum to somewhere better. I'm trying to leave with my emotional state intact. And then they have people that I walk down the street and they're like turn to stare at me like this. I'll show you, look. Who the fuck do you think this is? She's doing the signature demonic checker fingernails. But she's wearing gloves. And that was a man in a government suit driving a BMW with sunglasses and an earpiece, an obvious Matrix agent, face turned directly at me. And now that I've left, the woman is walking again. guess. So no matter what, all this stuff is happening, I'm obviously in a Truman Show. The scenery for it is beautiful. We're at Piney Woods. I made a post saying, why is everybody checking their fingernails? And then I just drove by a stranger standing in the middle of the road. And here's the Sprinter van I've been praying for. I'm gonna cut off after an hour. Maybe that's an album cover. I mean, it's nice, but it's not Sundance or Storm. That's what I would call Avalanche. If I made an Eagles meets aggressive trap meets acoustic punk with rock elements and a hint of Celtic violinist fiery influence. That's what I would call this scene right here, and I'd name it Avalanche. And the music video would be my dad skiing down Sundance, and we'd animate with CGI an avalanche behind him. My dad skiing as a 70-year-old man. Girls say I'm musty, but I'm hot. I'm thinking of live streaming a DoorDash ride along. Yeah, see, there's a car that stopped. As soon as I get into the peripheral of this vehicle, it stops in the middle of the road. So whoever was here, and the bird's flying away. As soon as I got here, whoever this person is stopped and got out of the car to talk to this other car. And he's gonna see me with my camera. He's setting up his tripod to take a picture. So there's my album cover. And now there's tons and tons of birds. I'm talking like 50 to 100 birds just flew across the street right here. And I'm being followed. Here, we hit the hour mark. That's my opportunity to get a cool Facebook profile photo. But I can feel that he doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to take a picture of me. The gloriousness of that. So that scene, I'm not supposed to talk to him or ask him questions. I could, and I could get references, and he could become like a videographer. I don't think he's an animator. He might be an animator. But it was more when I drove by and I looked at him, it added beauty to his scene. I enhanced him. I enhanced his narrative as I drove by. 1:01:22, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for watching. And until next time, Casey Francis O'Brien. Top of the morning. Pooped in a laundromat.